Hello there everyone, this is Ma'am Rachel Ann and you are watching Media and Information Literacy Lesson 4. Our topic for today is entitled Media and Information Languages, Genre, Codes, and Conventions. Let's have our objectives. By the end of this lesson, you shall be able to evaluate everyday media and information with regard to codes, conventions, and messages in regard to the audience, producers, and other stakeholders, and also to produce and assess the codes, convention, and messages. In our previous lessons, we have already talked about the different types of media and how these media are useful as sources of information. However, being media and information literate doesn't only mean knowing your sources of information. Dapat ay maalam din tayo sa tamang paggamit ng information na pine-present sa media. Basically, a media and information literate individual is a competent producer of media and information. This means being knowledgeable about how you are going to effectively present information. This being said, let us talk about media languages. So, media languages are codes, conventions, formats, symbols, and narrative structures that indicate the meaning of media messages to an audience. It can also include the repeated use of particular words, phrases, and images, also known as a verbal or visual language. Paano ba natin pinaparating itong media language? It is conveyed through media codes and conventions. Let us differentiate the two. The system of signs and symbols in media is called media codes, while media conventions refer to the generally accepted ways of presenting messages in media. Mahalaga na matutunan natin ang media languages because using inappropriate media language might result in misinterpretation and miscommunication. So bakit kaya? This is because signs and symbols in media text are polysemic. Ibig sabihin, they are open to many interpretations. And ito yung reason kung bakit dapat appropriate ang paggamit natin ng languages like signs, symbols, and conventions. These media languages suggest what we have to feel about a media product. It also helps us understand and interpret media messages easier. Let us have these examples. In movies, ginagamit ang media codes and conventions as predictors of the movie genres. A genre comes from the French word meaning type or class of an artistic endeavor having a particular form, content, technique, or the like. So yung paggamit ng media codes and conventions sa mga movies, kahit sa movie poster pa lang, sa trailer or sa opening credits, this already draws the audience to identify if it's a horror, action, drama, or a fantasy film. Here are some examples. You may answer along with me by pausing the video and writing your answers in your notebook. Let's have this first poster, which is from the movie Insidious. So dito pa lang, alam na natin na ito ay isang horror film. Next, how about this one? The Super Parental Guardians. Ayan! Napanood niyo na ba to? This is an action movie. Makikita natin sa font style pa lang. Another one, we also have the movie poster for Star Wars 8. Ito naman ay isang science fiction. We also have this one, a poster for Bybast. Ano kaya ang genre nito? Of course, this is an action film. And lastly, we have this one from Miracles from Heaven, which is clearly an inspirational or family movie. So, bakit kaya natin na-identify agad ang genre ng bawat movie? This is because each genre uses different codes and conventions to make the audience feel happy, sad, terrified, and thrilled. Again, when we say media codes, these are systems of signs which create meaning. They are like building blocks of all media around us. There are three types of media codes: the symbolic code, the technical code, and the written code. Symbolic codes show what is beneath the surface of what we see. These are seen through the objects, setting, body language, clothing, color, etc. These are social in nature. So what does this mean? Ibig sabihin, these codes live outside the media products themselves but would be understood in similar ways in the real life of the audience. Pwede natin itong i-relate sa lesson nyo sa inyong UCSP, which is yung Symbolic Interactionism Theory. So for instance, kapag nakakita tayo ng character na nagbigay ng red rose sa isa pang character sa movie, then we would assume that there is a romantic relationship between the two characters. This is because we all know that a red rose may convey romance or love. Here's another example. You might already be familiar with this. Naging viral itong illustrations recently. From here, we could say that a clenched fist may convey anger or dissent. Another way that symbolic code may be used is through colors. Every color elicits a different and unique emotional response in the viewer. Kaya kapag kayo ay gumagawa ng any form of media, you must be clever with your color choices. Halimbawa na lang kung kayo ay may assignment tungkol sa paggawa ng isang poster or slogan tungkol sa harmful effects ng paninigarilyo, then red is the most appropriate dominant color dahil it signifies danger. As a guide, here is a list of colors and the emotions that it may evoke. So red, it evokes passion, strength, power, and danger. Green for safety, healing, and money. Blue signifies stability, trust, and health. Yellow for happiness and intellect. Orange evokes joy, enthusiasm, and encouragement. Brown evokes confidence and casualness. Gold for wealth, prestige, and wisdom. Purple for power, luxury, and ambition. Pink evokes feminism, affection, inner peace, and approachability. Black evokes power, elegance, mystery, and depth. And lastly, white signifies purity and perfection. Now, let us go to the next media code, which is technical code. Technical codes are ways in which equipment is used to tell the story. Technical codes in media include camera work, audio or sound, lighting, and editing. More than just a visual spice, proper camera work moves your story. Para itong may sariling boses na nagsasabi kung saan dapat tumingin ang audience and kung ano ang mas mahalagang pagtuunan ng pansin. So there is embedded information in the way a camera works that gives us a hint as to what the message is all about. Pagdating naman sa audio, malaking epekto ang nagagawa nito lalo na sa movies or documentaries. Malalaman agad natin na may maaaring masamang mangyari sa character kapag suspense music ang naririnig natin. And happy ending naman kapag nakarinig na tayo ng something upbeat or inspirational. Another technical code is lighting, which is a code that gives an accent to visual media. Lights give a video a sense of atmosphere. So here are some examples of lighting for some action films and romantic films. Lastly, editing. This is a non-linear digital process that allows the editor to put pictures and sound together in any order and in any way he or she chooses. Ito yung dahilan kung bakit organized na naipapahayag yung message and madaling maintindihan ng audience. Finally, the last media code that we are going to discuss is the written code. Written codes are the formal written language used in a media product. These include font style and font size used, captions, choice of words, and emphasis of words. The written code of a media product must be appropriate to the genre or message you want to convey. Halimbawa, kung ikaw ay gagawa ng isang poster para sa isang horror film, then you have to choose words that are creepy and use font styles that appear scary, just like this one. And in print media newspapers naman, they use texts that are simple and easy to read and the choice of words is formal. While comic books use decorative font style depending on their genre. Now, for your activity this week, dear students, think of a company name and illustrate or draw its symbol, sign, or icon. You may do this digitally or draw it on an Oslo paper. However, make sure that it is not copied or plagiarized from the internet or other sources. You must also include an explanation of the symbol or logo used as well as its purpose or meaning. Please use this rubric as your guide in making your logo. Consider the attractiveness, creativity, validity of information, and meaningfulness. And don't forget to submit your output in our Google Classroom. That concludes our discussion for today. Again, this is Ma'am Rachel Ann, and thank you so much for watching. Goodbye, everyone!